So you've posed your research question, and now you've got a great list of keywords. There's just one more thing we need to talk about, and that's how to combine a word from each category to construct an effective search string. You'll do this using Boolean operators. Okay, so just what is a Boolean operator, you might be wondering? Well, we're glad you asked. Boolean operators are connecting words that most online library databases require the user to strategically insert between multiple search terms. They are and, or, and not. Boolean operators were named after George Boole, a largely self-taught mathematician famous for his pioneering work in symbolic logic. Each Boolean operator has a specific function which can best be illustrated using what are called Venn diagrams. If, in the library's databases, you were to type in a search for leadership style and morale, the database would pull up articles that contain both the terms leadership style and morale, not just one or the other, but both. If you were to type in a search for leadership style or morale, the database would pull up a few different things. It would pull up articles that contain only the term leadership style. It would also pull up articles that contain only the term morale, and it would also pull up articles that contain both terms. In other words, articles that contain either term as well as both terms. As you can imagine, this type of search will likely yield the largest number of results. But remember, bigger isn't always better, as we'll find out in the next video. If you were to type in a search for leadership style not morale, the database would pull up articles containing the term leadership style, but none of those articles would contain the term morale. The Boolean operators or and not are much less commonly used, so when we dive into the databases, we'll be concentrating primarily on the Boolean operator and. Let's return briefly to our keyword list so we can make sense of what we've just learned about Boolean operators. Not surprisingly, the most important words here are our headers: leadership style, morale, and employees. Now, for the past few minutes, we've only been talking about using two terms at one time, but for our particular research question, we have a third term, or keyword. In theory, you can combine as many keywords as you wish when constructing your search string, but the library's databases function best when you stick with 1, 2, or 3 keywords at a time. So, what should a search string end up looking like? Simply put, it's just keyword number 1, followed by a Boolean operator, in this case and, followed by keyword number 2, the word and, then keyword number 3, like this. When you're actually in the databases, that same search will look something like this. Notice that our Boolean operator does not have to be capitalized. You may also encounter advanced search screens in which each search term is assigned its own row or search box. This is perfectly okay. The search will play out in exactly the same way. But what if your chosen search terms don't work very well? What if you end up with too few results or articles to choose from? What if the articles that come up aren't quite what you're looking for? This is why you have your list of synonymous and related keywords, so you have something to fall back on. If the search string leadership style and morale and employees doesn't work well, try a different keyword combination, such as management and morale and workers, or leadership style and confidence and employer. The more keyword combinations you have at your disposal, the more likely you will be to find the peer-reviewed articles you need for your assignment. As you may have guessed, we're finally ready to dive into the databases, and having that list of keywords will give you an edge in finding just the right set of articles. In the next video, we'll explore the database ABI Inform, a database which caters specifically to professionals who, like yourself, are studying organizational change and leadership. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to contact a librarian. We're always glad to help.